last time we talked a little bit about soul and personality and what was the soul and how did it fit. I explained the level of spirit and soul and personality. And then one of the most common questions that follows from that is, well, how do I know which one I'm operating from? And I must say, it's a very tricky question at times, because our personality is, well, tricky, to put it simply. The reason being that our personality is a one-off. It's for this life only, whereas our soul continues on life after life after life. The personality knows that it's mortal. The personality knows it's only got this life. And if it doesn't get what it wants in this life, it's never going to get it. Beginning to get the picture? The personality wants to look after the personality. If it's only got a short time, it wants it, and it wants it all now. This gives you a little bit of a clue to where a decision's coming from, or a choice is coming from. If it's coming from the soul, it's likely to be a little bit more long-term. If it's coming from the personality tends to say, I want it, and I want it now. Let's look at it this way. Okay. We talked about the spirit sending its agent, the soul using the personality, and the personality being these lower 5 levels of vibration that were low enough to operate here on Earth. Those lower vibrations, each one is an octave lower than the previous. Each one is slower in its actions and reactions until we get down to solid matter. And I know it's hard for us to conceive at this stage of being that, you know, the block of concrete you just stubbed your toe on really is only energy. But it is, as the quantum physicists tell us. Being so slow, it wants concrete results. It wants to see things here and now. So the personality wants what it wants. I want that new car, I want that new relationship, I want that promotion, I want to be seen as perfect, beautiful, whatever. It wants it, and it wants it now. And it wants it in very concrete ways. The soul, when it wants something, it's prepared to wait a little longer. It's prepared to see things as a long-term project. The soul is prepared to stand back and let things work out a little bit. The soul is prepared to pause and see how that's going to affect everything else around it. So in other words, will it be good for me? Will it be good for everybody and everything around me? Remember I talked about these lower 3 levels being the I, me, my levels? Those I, me, my levels. I want it for me, and I want it now. And I don't care who gets hurt in the process. Very personality choice. The soul's likely, much more likely to say, I really want this. I really think this would be good. And I think it would benefit everybody. And I think we could all really win if we worked on this level. Can you see the difference? The personality, I, me, my, it's selfish. It's exclusive, and it tends to be material, individual, and quantifiable. When we talk about soul level things, it's rather less tangible. It's rather more about we, us, and they. It's rather more about sharing, and it's rather more about the greater good of the whole. All of the things that the personality is not the least bit interested in. Again, the personality is mortal, so it's saying, let's get it now in case there's none left. Whereas the soul's saying, if not this life, another life. That's okay. One very common example I have of this, and you may relate to this, is that women decide they would like to have a child. And they want it, and they want it now. Whereas the soul may say, you've had children in many previous lives, you'll have many children in future lives. If it doesn't work out this time, that's okay. But the personality is saying, the biological clock is ticking away. I might run out of time and I won't be able to have the baby I want. Can you see the difference? I, me, my, and that's okay. Later, we will. Very different energy, very different level of vibration, very different way of dealing with things. When the soul speaks, it always has the good of the whole, because this higher vibratory pattern includes the whole. It thinks of the good of the whole, it thinks of the effects on the whole. Whereas the personality is very much about its own little world. So when you're making choices, when you're having to make decisions, when you're having to confront some of those personality choices, just listen to the language you're using or thinking in. And if there are too many I's in it, it's probably a personality choice. If it's much bigger, looser, more open, it's probably more likely to be a soul choice. Always look and see who it will hurt, who it will benefit, and whether it's an inclusive choice or an exclusive choice. Because those are all clues as to where something's coming from. The personality will make an exclusive choice. Why do you think we have exclusive boutiques and limited lines of handbags and things? If it's a soul choice, it's going to come from a much wider, much more inclusive, and thinking of the greater good of the whole rather than the personality. Ultimately, when we really get our show together, the soul and the personality become as one. But perhaps that's something we can discuss at a future stage too.